Hello and welcome to the Volunteer Firefighter Podcast. My name is Scott, and I'm here with two fire friends and a Ontario friend.
Hey,
we got Todd.
Hello.
And we got Ash.
No, jumping the gun.
And we got Paul from Place. Yeah. We just got back from the Chiefs convention in Penticton, and we're going to talk about that tonight. But Paul, what do you think of the Okanagan?
This area is beautiful. Can't believe how nice it is. Never been out, so it's amazing.
Yeah, I think we've said it a couple times before. It's really easy for us to forget how beautiful it is here, right?
Yeah.
And even coming back from, like, if we go down to the Lower Mainland and if we take the Coquihalla Highway and you drop into Peachland, you're like, man, this valley is just so gorgeous.
Maybe not today because it's on fire, but you're dropping into it.
Yeah, that exact location actually will
Which takes us to the news. Todd?
Yeah, so on that note of wildfires and dropping into our beautiful valley. So there's a new fire just north of us, Peachland area. And so it's kicked off, was it yesterday or today? Yeah, it's kind of a blur.
Yeah, it's a day or two.
I think it was yesterday.
Yeah. So it's currently sitting at 35 hectares. And it sounds like there's about 44 ground crew and 10 aircraft currently on it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's for our first kind of larger one for the area at this point in time, which we all fear it's going to be a bad season.
That's right.
Yeah, and BC Wildfire has currently deployed their new Dash 8 for their air support.
Mm-hmm.
And we were watching those kind of fly around today because one of the main air bases for the region is actually in Penticton, where the Chiefs conference was.
That's right.
So they got 2 of the Dash 8s and 4 of the fire bosses. I saw them sitting there.
Oh, were they sitting there too?
Yeah, they're sitting there as well. So
right. I'm not sure why that fire's not out with all that command just at the ready.
All the Chiefs kicking around. Well, once they all go home for the weekend, it'll be gone. The fire will go out. That's the rule, isn't it?
Yeah. Once the chief leaves, fire's up.
Yeah. Speaking of that, if you're wondering why this looks different than usual, or maybe not, we're actually in the Chief's office because he's away right now, and there's actually a first responder class going on in our usual area. Mm-hmm. So with the chief and deputy chief are gone, crazily enough, I'm the chief and Ash is the deputy chief.
That's right. Yeah, making some changes, boys.
We're buying all the bonus gear. All right, on to the
Chiefs.
thing. The Chiefs mentioned. Thank you.
Yeah, so it's the BC Fire Expo yesterday and today. And it's just the kickoff to the BC Fire Chiefs Convention here in Penticton BC. And they're going to be going for the next 4 days for conferences and other presenters and whatnot. So it sounds like talking to a few people up there today. It's the largest one they've had yet here in Penticton, with the largest amount of people that are there for the weekend, and also the amount of vendors as well for the expo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was really nice to hear as well. They just had the Alberta Fire Chiefs a couple weeks back, and I was talking to a few of the vendors, and they're like, "This place is rocking. Like, so much more foot traffic. Definitely a lot more vendors came out to support here. Obviously, there's some things that were happening out of Alberta at the same time, so." There's reasons why it was less attendance, but seeing the support, seeing the people come out, it was a busy show.
Mm-hmm. How many more vendors than normal? One? Probably has to tip the scale.
Yeah. The new vendor for the weekend was Modus.
Yeah.
So it was our first time out at this show, so it was cool to be there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's talk about that for a few minutes. So we teamed up with Modus. We were helping at the booth. We were selling some of our DTFF shirts, but more importantly, we were trying to help push the product. But it turned out actually what we found was a lot of people already knew what Snagger was awesome. Or had a Snagger. Some didn't know about all the additional items like the door wedges and the pocket organizers and the spanners. Are we already on the mop-up phase of this? Sounds like But one thing we did find was a lot of chiefs were buying it for their staff. Almost as like a graduation present for them to become full-time members, or like if they're doing it like in a promotion or like gifts.
Once they get their 1001, or if they're over here, if they've got the minimum standards qualification, interior levels, certified or whatever. So kind of getting that milestone gift
Yeah.
was kind of the theme of what I was getting from a lot of people, right?
Yeah,
Which is cool.
There was one I'm pretty sure it was actually Ellison. I apologize if it was wrong, but I think it was the Ellison department who mentioned that they bought them for everybody for a Christmas present last year
Right.
as well.
Yeah.
So so definitely the snagger was heavily
Known.
known about
Yeah.
for a lot of people. Like I said, then all those other products, then they kind of got drawn in and.
Did that surprise you out here?
No, I know we've known in BC a bunch of more departments than I thought, because there's a bunch that we just know or have talked to. That it's like, oh yeah, they're buying us gifts or buying us things like that. But there's way more than I expected. That way more knew about it already, and then using it for that purpose, which is really cool.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and of course we had the door wedges out. That was another, I guess, one that people knew a lot about with the door wedges.
Yeah.
Some new products.
Got some new things that we showcased. The Auto X gloves.
Yeah.
The X gloves.
The X brand.
The X. The X lineup.
There's some other stuff coming after this.
Mark out for this.
Yeah, we had a video from the show, so check us out on Facebook on that. But we showed the X gloves and we showed the vest, the tactical vest for Rescue Task Force, which we talked about endlessly. And then the new marking panel. Yep. Which we didn't put up here because if we take this, we open the doors right now, the sign will fall off.
Yes.
So we're not going to leave yet. But the marking panel, it was actually a forestry on the first day. Within the first hour, I think one of the initial attack forestry guys showed up. We kind of pointed that out to him, talked to him about it, and he thought it was a good idea. And we actually basically asked him what other items that they need.
Yes.
And what was his main thing was a hose strangler, I think.
Yeah, the strangler.
Yeah, because like he basically was like Soviet era was the last time.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So lots of ideas. I think after this weekend, we did a lot.
We did a lot of a lot of thinking, a lot of scheming. So
so there will be some new products coming out.
Yeah. Especially on the Auto X side, a couple of things there. Another pouch.
Yeah, an Auto X pouch, which I think we talked about in the past.
We talked about our
your modification
Todd line there.
Yeah, there you go.
Tool belted vest. No, to it. No.
Oh yeah, that would be the Todd line.
What was the Todd line?
What was the tool belt of destiny? But tool belt is a hyphen. So
Oh no!
The tool of destiny.
Yeah.
Wait, no.
But basically, we have the pouch that has all of our kind of our smaller tools in our snaggers in there, our seatbelt cutter, battery wrench,
some snips,
pry bar,
a little medium-sized pry bar. So all that stuff kind of when you arrive on scene, either the officer puts it on their waist and uses that, or hands it to the softener, the guy that he goes around and basically pops windows, cuts seat belts, peaks and peels for the airbags and wiring and things like that. So that pouch is on the hip. So we went over some modifications that we can make to make that pouch even better. Yeah, and I think it'll be if it works out the way we want it to, it'll be actually pretty sweet.
Yeah,
more of a almost like rather than a pouch up high, it'll almost maybe be like a leg pouch.
Yeah. So I'll try 2 versions and see. Yeah, test them both out and see what works best. But the leg pouch is kind of a cool idea.
Right,
where it's just so accessible, especially if you're leaning down and you've just got tools right on you.
Yeah.
With the flap, then we're going to flip the flap over opposite way that it currently is, so you can actually pull it down.
It'll stay open rather than
stay open.
Yeah, be in the way.
Yeah.
So that's one of the X line.
Yeah,
Modus X.
Yeah.
So imagine the Modus with the big X in the back.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
What else there is
through it? But
that's garbage.
If it doesn't turn out, then big X on the pouch.
The X gonna be like 2 Halligans or fire ants. That's excellent.
This does sound like a regular Modus show.
Yeah. Pure chaos.
Obviously, there's more to the weekend than just our booth. So what else was there?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of booths. Awesome.
Yeah,
It's 140, I think, because we were about 130, weren't we?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we were
138.
139.
Yeah,
139. Yeah.
It was 145, I think.
Yeah.
there is booths from everywhere. You name it, too, like different organizations, not just even just apparatus and tools and nozzles and equipment, but there's lots of like mental health, computer stuff, all sorts of team building, leadership things. You name it, it was there. And then, of course, the fire truck vendors outside as well, which was super cool. We saw the new Rosenbauer electric one.
Did you see that thing?
Yeah.
That was so crazy.
Yeah, pretty neat.
Fully
I almost got ran over by it. I was so
yeah, crab walks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Weird, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's so quiet. I was taking pictures for Coldstream's new fire truck for them, so I can send it to them. And then I hear this. I'm like, oh, this fire truck sneaking out. Trap walking fire truck.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of cool stuff. And seeing some of the trucks in the area, like I said, Coldstream, Summerland have their new ladder truck.
Yep.
As well.
I think they had a truck there too. I noticed.
What's that?
Penticton had a truck there. As
it was
well.
one of the
I think
rescues,
they
right?
had their rescue there. Yeah. Yeah, and a few other providers as well. And just some really neat concepts, seeing the new designs of some of the cabinets and things like.
Yep.
Yeah, it was.
There's a couple of cool wildland trucks there.
Well, the craziest thing we saw was that thing that it was like it looked like a deuce and a half, like an old military truck, but not old. It was like
The
this.
Sella or what? I think it was the.
I scanned it. I scanned it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't really look further into it. But basically, it's on the side it says wildland and humanitarian. So it looked like. Did you guys look at it?
Yes.
Well, and we actually had a really good chat with the guy outside. Yeah. So,
what am I talking about then?
so they make that, and then a bunch of other like smaller wildland vehicles as well. He's actually an ex firefighter from back east, and yeah, he was telling us that thing was initially designed to evac people.
It still has the bench seats in it.
Yeah, so there's the bench seats. They can get the big rollover, like canopy tarp over top of it. When we first saw it, it had the canopy on it, and then they exposed it. But like anything else fire-wise, you try to make it a bit more of a multi-function. So they got the big drop-in skid for wildland as well.
Yeah. What do you drop it in with?
Well, there's like a massive hydraulic lift gate.
Oh.
Yeah, so they're like, you can, if there's people with mobility issues, you can actually load up like.
Yeah.
Oh, so that skid actually can go.
Yeah, and the entire lift gate will rise up, so you're not trying to get granny to like climb up. Yeah, you can actually lift them up. We kind of talked about Chilliwack last year.
Yeah.
It's definitely not great for flowing water, but something like Chilliwack where all the water levels rose and then couldn't escape. So it's just that standing flood water.
Yeah, talk to some pictures. We'll maybe post one on the Facebook page.
Yeah, it's how you explain it. Like I didn't looking at the pictures here, I didn't know that the whole canopy actually folds back.
Yeah,
that's when it comes into that humanitarian mode. They can have the benches.
It's just like a huge box.
Pull your skin right out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if you imagine like an old military truck, but a modern version of that. And
just
a higher wheelbase
with the canopy that opens and
closes. Like much higher. I think.
Yeah,
and
it's quite high.
So it's a refurbished chassis, very low mileage refurbished chassis, and I think it's European body.
Yeah,
if I recall correctly.
It says a Sella, and it's from SafeTech, ProTac.
Did he give the old price tag on it?
No,
he did not.
It's the ProTac multi.
What are you thinking?
What am I thinking? Something like that?
Yeah, what were you thinking? Like we're just guessing because we don't know. But what do you think?
It's got to be like 1.45.
Yeah.
Really?
But I say like 8.
Yeah, 6, 8.
Yeah. But actually, I didn't know the lift gate was a massive hydraulic lift gate either.
Right. So it's got a lot of features to it. I could be aiming really high, but I mean, that's
it was just so it had just such a clean look though, like because it's like that old military vehicle look, but a little bit modern of a look, and just
I can see SR group getting one of those, like
for sure.
Not so much like us because it'd be cool to have, but
like Urban SAR.
Yeah,
so you just got to transport
whatever. But even like SARs around here, like you imagine like doing evacuations.
Yeah, right.
Get in.
Yeah, and one other thing about that too, So in the back, there's all these little tie-off points for people with the mobility issues, right? So they're up there in their wheelchairs, and they've actually got tie-off points built right into the floor,
Oh, wow.
so they can wheel somebody in there and then cinch them
And there's a
over.
lift to the back, like
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
go
So
up
the
like
actual
lift
gate will lift down, drop down hydraulic,
way.
It holds
Yeah.
50 people, you said.
and it can hold about 15 people.
Well, 15, I think it's 50. I'm like,
No, on the lift, so like 15 people on the lift gate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
There'll
up
be a
and
mosh pit going on in the
Yeah.
truck,
Yeah.
right?
So that thing was really, really cool to see. And then they had a couple of smaller wildland trucks there as well,
Yeah.
with some pretty cool.
So that
stuff.
wildland truck that was next to, is that also theirs?
I believe
Yes, it was. Yeah.
We were looking at that.
Yeah,
was
that's nice
yeah,
too.
that was nice and high.
Yeah.
It's always a thing. I like those wildland trucks. I like when they're high enough up. And,
Yes.
Wildland.
Oh, we're back. Yeah, we just actually had to answer a question about we thought it was a snagger, but it's actually a sagger, which is a type of split, right? Yeah.
Traction.
It's a traction split. Yeah. I should know that. I have a license. DMR license. I probably should know what it's called. Anyways,
So wildland trucks.
wildland trucks. Yeah,
I like them.
I like them higher. like we have some fairly low ones, but I really do like the fact that those high ones are
A bit more clearance. Yeah.
a bit more clearance.
So even with ours, like Adam and I were chatting about putting a little bit of a lift, a little bit more of a BB tire, because like ours is it's just a F350.
Yeah.
So it's stock with a lot of weight, right? And we've gotten ourselves in some trouble that like a more purpose-built truck wouldn't be in trouble with.
Yeah, and they had that bush bumper was crazy on the front of that thing.
Yeah.
They had a monitor, and I'm always like trying to monitor on a wildland truck because like you just don't have the water. Yeah. So
Yeah, no,
Big money department problems.
for sure.
Something like ours. I can see us using something like that because, like I said, like, oh, this is cool. Psh, oh, we're out of water. Yeah, you're done.
Yeah, like some of those skids. Well, actually, back to that massive truck, that
That was
drop-in
fun.
skid unit, that had like 2.5 ounce. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that was able to pump some pretty large water. But again, like
did it have a tank or was it just for?
it had a tank
Yeah,
attached
it's a huge
as well.
skid unit.
Yeah,
It had
massive skid
650
unit.
gallon tank on it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway,
So that's basically the outside of the Chiefs, right?
Yeah, exactly. Bunch of other cool trucks. They had a really good sprinkler setup as well. We chatted with one of the guys
that's right.
from Salmon Arm.
Yeah, come out of Salmon Arm. We're actually going to have a chat with him now that we're back home. Once Chief's back, I brought Bob over there quickly and was showing him some of it just to have a quick peek to get ourselves going quickly this year. Maybe get a couple of those in our hand. He wants to come and show us. So if we have them, we can have a look at it, see what we like about it, what we don't like about it.
So what's that?
Sprinkler protection.
Oh, sprinkler. Okay.
So holding something would be nice to get a couple in our hand.
Yeah, that'd be good. And Kevin Patterson was there with his EV.
That's right.
His Tesla car, which he
Yeah.
brought to his seminar.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got the stripped down Tesla that we can that everyone kind of look at. You can kind of see where you can cut. I was going to take him by there for a while.
Nice.
So it's it shows you where all the cut points are, where not to cut.
Yeah.
He's got his own company that does EV auto extrication.
Yeah.
So it's just all around that stuff. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, and I think I saw a fire blanket too.
Oh, was there one there?
Okay. Unless the guy just had a cover over one of the cars. But I think it looked like one of those fire blankets. They weren't testing it on anything. That would be cool. Yeah. You can't really be like, oh, that thing looks cool, but it'd be better if they had a car on fire and did it.
Yeah.
See, we were chatting about that, right? Like in these shows, it'd be really cool to have. I mean,
Yeah.
we're going to give everybody's secret away here, I guess, but it'd be really cool to have some actual live demos with some of this product.
Yeah, because I feel we could have. I mean, people are getting the point with us because we actually brought like a 15-foot, 2.5-inch hose with us and charged it with some air.
Yeah.
And then ran the snagger on it. But people just couldn't feel like the real sell on that thing is when they can run a 2.5 by themselves and they're just like they're not getting blown away. And if we can't do that with air, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, if we got a hydrant outside or something, we could run.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
And then, guys, like we were over there looking at a force entry door, which is like a pretty cool build. But again, like, hey, like we got some heavy hitter wedges, which actually sold out right at the show. So that was a big hit on the first day.
Yeah.
Like, man, it'd be sweet. Is there side irons around here we can play with? He's like, no. I'm like, why?
Yeah,
I'm like, can I bring up a set of irons for him?
Big door. Yeah, brand new, nice door.
Yeah. Freshly painted.
Yeah, let's make this thing look good,
Yeah.
right? But so we started to have a chat about that, like you know, getting a little bit more space and actually getting some hands-on demos, right? I think we'll go a long way for a lot of these tools.
Especially because the booths are always great, but it's you're just looking at a lot of stuff.
That's right.
So to get
I was dragging guys outside,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we had the
some of the entry
J
tools,
tool, right? For some of the passive entry,
Yeah.
I was dragging out to, you know, people were like, oh yeah, like I've heard of this, like what's this about? Oh, so like anything with a panic bar? Oh yeah, like whereabouts are those? I'm like, well, there's that door which doesn't lock, but the one right around the corner does. So I had half a dozen people. I'm outside, and I'm you know basically teaching them how to use this tool, handing it over, and I'm like, hey, we only have a couple seconds because there's going to be somebody from the convention that's going to try to come and let us in. So you had to work fast.
Yeah.
And I was like, stop, and they had no idea. They're like, oh yeah, like let me in a minute. I'm like, no, stop.
Yeah. I can get in. It's okay.
Yeah.
But it's so much better because I'd show somebody and be like, oh, okay, this is how it works. Just slide between the door, turn it 90 degrees. And then as soon as you actually see it, they're like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's like...
Yeah, so a lot of like firefighters are obviously familiar. This isn't a new thing.
Yeah.
And when you hold it, you're like, it's just a piece of wire.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's got an awesome purpose.
Yeah.
So as soon, like you said, as soon as you can see it, like, that makes sense. That's why it has to be small. That's why it has to be, reinforced a certain way, because when you're small, everything wants to bend. So it works out really well.
And that's kind of what seminar, like when we do seminar here, that's kind of what we try to put tools in everyone's hands so they can, like we had a bunch of snaggers kicking around there, and I think someone stole the one from the Justice Institute. I'm pretty sure I gave it to the Justice Institute guy. He's like, I haven't seen one of these before. I'm like,
You have.
So, you wanted another one? I don't know.
Maybe. He had somebody living.
He did. So, the seminar is always good for that because we get lots of hands-on experience with the tools. But if they did that for the Chiefs, even if they didn't get their hands on, because some of the Chiefs are not hands-on type people anymore.
Well, that kind of stuff's maybe better for the training officer. Yeah.
Which I went there once, and I believe there is some more of that kind of
like demo,
demo stuff. Yeah. Sorry.
I was saying, we even talked about just making some little small tabletop ones, like just a small frame with certain locks and stuff to show how, like the key tools and some of the others, like shove wedges and
because what not
knives.
Well, not soft entry. What do you guys call it?
To the lock, passive entry.
Soft entry.
No, Joanne called it something else. When I got there today. Respectful entry.
Right.
Respectable entry.
Respectful entry.
I was worried where you're going with this.
No, but having one of those on the table because it is literally supposed to be soft entry, so it's not like you're smashing things. It'll be probably cool.
Which I had a lot of conversations with a lot of guys talking about all the soft entry stuff. Was that we've always been the guys that when we get called we're forcing doors. But there's so much of the public service aspect of doing that.
Yeah.
It was never really a thing for a lot of our departments, but now it totally is. But there's still not a lot of awareness with it. So
for sure,
it's really good having those tools.
We'll see how it goes. You got a list of who else we talked to?
We had a really good interview with Kenwood from the Kenwood Radios and Communications there. So Wilf from Kenwood, they have a program called Kenwood Cares. So essentially, it's a grant process for $10,000 for communications, whether certain volunteer groups or small town community events like SAR groups. They had a K9 SAR group was one of the other ones. Small volunteer departments with no budgets. I said there was one department they dealt with. They're literally using FRS radios for their communications. So they applied to the grant. You give as much information about your department and your situation as you can. They give out 2 grants per year. And so they outfitted whether you need a repeater or radios. Like I said, one department, I think they gave 20 radios to.
Nice.
Yeah, so they had half and half, right? Like they were half somebody else's, half Kenwood. And I don't know if it was a fire or theft, there was an issue. And Kenwood stepped up and replaced all of them.
Yeah, so pretty neat. That's a huge gift essentially for your departments for a lot of these areas.
Is that their own grant that they're
It's their own.
They're
it's
doing
just
it
rent house,
themselves?
Yeah,
wow,
and they're
that's amazing.
Canada wide, which is super cool
Yeah.
as well. Yeah, so 2 per year. So we're going to put out some information on our social media about that as well,
For sure.
and we're going to have them on the podcast to discuss it.
Yeah, we're
So-
having a chat with those guys for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, don't apply for this next year. It's already ours. Unfortunately, we already won.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. So he
Don't
actually,
apply.
yeah, he said, so last year they awarded Lumbee,
Yeah.
fire department for theirs,
Mhm.
and this year's so they're announcing it, which he said, so we can say it's in Victoria.
Like the city of Victoria?
I don't. He just said Victoria.
No, it's not. No.
Oh, yeah, it's like, come on, man.
It's Alberta, isn't it?
From the east. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
It
not
wasn't in BC. No,
It was like
Yeah.
the capital of BC. They didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I made the joke to like Vancouver Fire can't apply. Yeah. Even we would be able to. Like,
Yeah, we'd be a little
like,
hard.
like we're a
Yeah,
little,
our department would like
Yeah.
to say.
Mhm. But like our local SAR group would probably fit into
Yeah,
that.
so the guys up the valley, the
You know, the
mountain.
guys were at the valley there for sure, right?
Yeah.
Where funding is tight.
Yeah, so end of June you can still apply for this year, and then right after June they run their second cycle. So
Yeah, which will be announced towards the end of the year. So
exactly.
Mhm.
More to come on that one. That was a really good conversation with them.
yeah, and that's really cool the way it came about. So
Yes.
we did a quick walkthrough, and this kind of showed most of the show, and then Cass tagged.
Oh, were you,
everybody.
were you filming?
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, so we did a walkthrough film, and then Cass was tagging people along the way. And somebody from their team reached out and said, "Hey, you guys should come over and have a chat with us." So we did.
Yeah, nice.
And it was funny. The one guy, we're like kind of prompting him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, what?" And he's like, "Oh no, you want to talk to this guy?" And then right away he's like, "Oh yeah." And then both of them were like super switched on,
Right.
wanting to have a chat and
Mhm.
like just try to spread that awareness, right?
Yeah.
They're being, like that's really graceful to put that kind of like that kind of a deal out there. They say 10 grand, and like not to give away their secrets or whatever, but he says they'll work with you. Like they have to put a number out there, but if you're too radio shy and they've spent 10,500, they're going to get you the rest of it. Yeah, so kind of like whatever it is. Like if it's going to take $25,000 to build up whatever you need, that's probably a little bit over budget, but 10, 11 grand or whatever, they'll make sure that you guys, whoever it is that needs this is functioning
Mhm.
at the end of the program, and they'll work with somebody local to you. So whoever sells their product close, and then it sounds like they kind of look after you on the back end as well. So
Nice.
any programming, any warranty, any any sort of issues along the way. So pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're great to chat with us, and they want to work with us in the future here. They're talking about we'll be pretty creative for some giveaways or some other products, and they're going to support us with that.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for those.
Nice.
Actually, back to the cool Wellline trucks. The gentleman that we were speaking to there wants to be on the show as well.
Yes.
Has a lot of really cool talking points.
Oh, the big truck?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe you can throw one of those our way for demo.
Yeah, drive one of those babies out here.
Yeah.
That might overtake motors for the show. Sorry.
When you spray paint the logo inside.
What's Paul doing over there?
I did see a video. They had both those trucks out doing some demos in Penticton. I think.
Right.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, not for Penticton Fire, but for the Penticton PIB.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So yeah, pretty cool.
All right. What else you got, Todd? We talked to the.
Darcy from Fire Service Women BC as well. So we kind of railroaded her real quick. Like, let's tell us about your service.
Yeah, because they're only two booths
away.
down from us. Yeah.
Mhm.
Walking by and what are you guys all about? We're like, well, you need an interview with us. What? So-
Yeah.
Yeah, so she was fantastic. So we got her a quick little interview of what they do with their service and programs, and lots of support. They're based out of. She's based out of Whistler.
That's right.
I can't remember if they all are, but she was specifically.
Because the one person from there.
Yeah, Camping Night.
Yeah.
One of them
Yeah.
started.
So they started
Yeah,
Camping
so-
Night, which is that women only?
Now, now it's in 3 or 4 places, I think.
Right.
They've
I
got
can't
a
remember her
couple different
name.
places, yeah.
I'm bad with names, but we talked to her for a bit, and Modus did a
Yeah, we donated for the last couple of years. We donated a bunch of tools. So last year we did purple ones for them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so custom purple. And then they've got high school age, I believe, girls that come and then can run their program.
And it's like fire service
training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is super cool.
Yeah, Gabby wants to sign up for that.
Nice.
really?
Yeah.
What's the age?
Grade 11 or 12, I believe.
That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mhm.
And that's out in Lower Mainland.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess when we get them on. So we get
No. Kootenays, maybe?
3 locations now, I think.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I think our closest one might be might be the Kootenays. Anyway.
nice.
Yeah, so again, they're huge supporters of any sort of female empowerment and just getting women in the fire service and beyond. Like she was telling us about all the things that she does with their group. Like mental health supports and awareness, leadership, you name it, right?
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think actually, we'll talk to Joanne, but I think we're talking about getting them on fairly soon.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, it sounds like we're getting booked up pretty solid until the fall,
Right.
which is great.
Yeah.
That's
That
good.
was Maple Leaf Ropes.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool too. A lot of cool rope stuff, and then
For sure.
and the
Yeah, so Isaac from Maple Leaf Ropes, we went and chatted. They had a really cool fast board from Fast Rescue Solutions there. So it's if you haven't seen it before, it's like a half. Looks like a mini half basket stretcher, right?
Yeah.
So, RIT board. You can use it for static water rescue, ice water rescue, swift water rescue. They have a flotation device that goes around as well. It's got built-in integrated webbing for between the legs and over the head, and it buckles together. And then the tension strap, as you pull to drag, it cinches down tight.
Yeah.
They've got other attachments to it as well for search lines and other rescue bags that can Velcro right onto it.
And it goes big enough that you could do it over someone wearing an SCBA.
Yeah,
Right.
so
Important, obviously,
it's a
RIT.
big thing. What a lot of guys do if it's for a RIT scenario, they'll place the firefighter face down on it, and it's got lots of room to buckle up over top, and you can check them out that way.
Yeah.
And it was illuminated, which is super cool.
That was
So
super,
that was
super
great for
cool.
nighttime ops, or if you're in crawl spaces, things like that, can find space, you name it, right? Yeah. So it took a couple of photos as well. We'll put those pictures out.
And he had a couple other interesting, like a rope attachment for. Was it you and I when we were there?
Yeah.
They got it.
yeah,
From
they
France.
had themselves, right?
That was like they kind of got the idea from France or something.
Well, also, so with that retractable
Yeah.
remote, so it's there's 2 attachments to it. There's like a series of beads and a buckle. So that's certain.
When I first saw those beads, I was like, "Wow, it's
Wrong show.
It's like
So
Yeah.
in what area in the States he said, but there's a certain area in the States where their SOGs, you actually have to be tethered to the hose line.
that was France. Yeah, it wasn't States. It was he said in Europe. Yeah, so in
okay.
Europe they have it there, so you have to be tethered to the hose line at all times.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
a really neat concept. It goes out 18 feet. And then other attachment points and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you're always tethered, and you always have a rope line to follow.
Yeah.
Right. And there's reflective spec in it as well.
Those beads definitely threw me for a loop.
And they had a really cool
What have you
RIT
done
bag
with
as well.
those?
That was pretty awesome.
Honestly, trying to.
I am trying to keep you.
drive on. I'm just like. Did you see him?
It's time.
So that's when you and I there. Yeah.
All right, man. It's time to put the beats behind you.
Jesus Christ. Okay, where are we at? Maple Leaf Ropes.
Hey, we're going to ship a shit for free.
Still might.
Just not the.
That's why the show the beats.
Scott. Yes, the fast board. And we were very impressed with it. We were chatting between our two departments, maybe towards ice rescue, season, right?
Yeah. Cool.
Moving on, Scott.
Yeah, what else can we butcher? We talked to Fortis. They were there.
Yeah, for sure. So another crazy relationship built over the last couple seasons here with Fortis. Just went and had a chat with them. They're obviously they're just spreading the schooling awareness or whatever safety that comes along with the gas and the electrical, and I think maybe building up some relationships moving forward there as well. So chatting about seminars, supporters was out helping us out for seminar. Again, big shout out to them. They were a major contributor, so major thanks there as well. And then chatting about seminar coming up next May. So
Not with us.
not with us, but actually a little bit closer to like their office.
Right.
Might be a little bit easier. Us, the way that we always do things, are like trying to figure out their lodging at the new location.
So we had it all sorted out for them.
Yeah, we're like, all right, we're gonna get
A tour bus.
a tour bus. Yeah, they're like, who are these guys? As people learn quickly, we are the idea people. So
Paul's notebook's getting
Yeah.
more and more full.
yeah,
Tour bus. Need tour bus.
Yeah. So that was an awesome chat there as well. We spent a bit of time in the Brogan booth. Had a look around there, checking out their Genesis tools. So they just picked up, or they're in the process of picking up the Genesis lineup.
Yeah.
And we've been a long-standing purchaser of Homatro, which we don't want to get away from their Homatro hydraulic tools. They've been doing really well for us. They work, we're obviously really, really familiar with them.
And that's your KGC right now. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And, we've got really good support out of them as well. But looking at the battery tools, they utilize the Milwaukee battery, which we already have a plethora of the Milwaukee tools, right? So I really like the idea that we don't have to have yet another charging station with another battery and blah, 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 right? So it just kind of builds off of what we already have. So yeah, excited to have a look at that. Looks like a potential demo between our hall and your guys is coming up here once they can secure a demo unit for us.
Yeah.
So that'll be exciting.
Yeah, that'll be cool. And like you said, actually, like the big takeaway with the Genesis line is just that versatility of those batteries, man. Like, it makes our life so much easier in the fire departments having the Milwaukee style batteries and
That's right.
the lineup, and having that same battery pack now with that with those tools is fantastic.
And that combi is it's like small, like agile. Doubles as a RIT tool as well, which is really cool. They have the interchangeable tips that just pop on and off like fast. So and I did like the they have two like caps for the battery. So if you're out on a day like today, you can just have the easy access cap, so you can still swap on and off your battery. But if you're working in like some pretty shitty weather, snow,
Or
heavy rain, or underwater, so that one's completely submersible. So it's got a fully sealable cap, so your battery stays dry. That's the only thing on, obviously, the electrical is you can't get them wet. So
we have done underwater practice before. We've taken the hydraulic tools out underwater. We I don't know if you ever saw that. We sunk a car and we went underwater.
Nice.
We cut a car door off it.
So those ones with that secondary cap are submersible as well.
Right.
So that was sweet. It's funny, the first day I'm over there chatting, and our rep's like, I was chatting with your chief, and he's like, I don't really know if we're going to be looking at those. I'm like, just email me. And she's like, okay. And then the second day, I saw Bob, and I'm like, Bob, come on over here. Let's go have a look. I give him the speech of why. He's like, man, are you working for these guys? I'm like, no, I'm working for us. He was like, I want to have a look. It makes sense because it's portable. Something for our new engine, which was announced is going to be here this August.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Will it have wheels?
It's had wheels for a while. We'll have a box.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're just going to pull up and give us a box of parts.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like the IKEA.
This little guy with a little wrench. Like a little,
how many Allen wrenches? We're out there doing the stupid Allen key thing. Like, I just want a fire truck. Actually, Bob showed me quickly a couple of the most recent photos there. The actual box portion of it's completely painted and ready to assemble.
Nice.
The pump's completely plumbed. All of the electrical's in. So it's on kind of the final assembly stages now.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's exciting.
Yeah, so then we have to fill it. So that's where this all comes from.
like, with water.
And tools. Yeah. Yes. So yeah, that was fun. Who else did we chat to in there?
We're right next to the fire commissioner.
That's right. Yeah. So that was good.
Yeah,
Chatting with
Yeah.
them.
with them. Yeah.
Mhm.
And actually, we're right next to
Across the way.
Red Cross. Yeah. Red Cross. Actually, they had a pretty cool thing. They were giving away naloxone with the nasal ones,
Yes.
because we had been trained actually by you on the intramuscular one, right?
Yeah.
Like a few years back. Yeah. But the nasal ones are really good for the first responder.
For sure.
You don't have to be like, getting the needle out and stuff. It's just literally up the nose.
Yeah.
Not as effective as the intramuscular, but
Yeah, there's a few little legality issues with certain things with that. Unfortunately, like I had a really good discussion with them.
which one? The
Nasal atomizer, yeah. And because my biggest complaint is, like when I was doing a lot of the outreach work through my service, teaching groups, we all teach and I instruct with the IM.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of big stigma with it. The needles, and it's hard to break the ankles. You're crushing the ankles and breaking them, whereas the nasal atomizers are so simple to use.
For sure.
So there's cost is a big one for a lot of them, out of free, but
Yes.
there is certain grants and stuff. So we can do a lot of public education and teach people how to use it. But currently, we're stuck with the IM stuff
IM.
for us,
Yeah.
which will be changing eventually here with scope changes. But
really?
Yeah.
It's just not quite there yet for us specifically.
So you'd rather have the nasal ones?
100%, yeah. Well, I mean, for in my world, as EMS, I can push it IV or whatever, right, super easily. But the nasal ones work fantastic for the majority of the people.
Right.
I think the booth that kept us on our toes the most
Yeah.
was directly across.
Red Cross from us, yeah.
Yeah.
Joint Force Tactical.
Yeah, so Joint Force Tactical out in Chilliwack, they sell tactical gear, because that's what their name is. and station wear and those sorts of things. You were actually talking about maybe putting some Modus gear into their shop. But yeah, there was these creepy ass mannequins that were staring right at us all the time.
All postured up.
Yeah. And like every time I'm out doing the talk, I'd be like,
There's
thing
a
over my
corner of your
shoulder.
eye. You're just kind of, looking one way for your eye. You just see it's like someone standing there looking, and you're just like, who's looking? Oh, it's like it was all for 2 days straight.
Yeah.
You just think there's.
I think the first day they were pushed out a little further too.
Oh yeah,
I felt like they were really like right on top of us.
Yeah.
You seen that movie?
They might be haunted mannequins. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good thing is we had the chaplain right next to him.
Yeah.
To exercise the demons. On the yeah. Yeah, we were in kind of the obscure section. Yeah, we're definitely the obscure section of the old of the booths. Yeah. Anyways, anything else, Todd? Anyone else?
Jeez, no, nothing.
Yeah, actually, one thing I noticed, a lot of people actually followed the podcast, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Like people, we were talking about the hydrant wrench with one fellow.
Yeah.
I wish I got his name because we got to give him a shout out. But he's like, "Hey, where is he? Where happened to your hydrant wrenches?"
Yeah.
He goes, "Literally, the only time I ever saw one used was that he points at me is when you had one on a YouTube video." I was like, "Oh." So you're going to look into it, see if you can find
see if we still have his number.
Yeah, you got his name or something.
Yeah, I got his name.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're not selling it anymore right now.
Right.
We just found there's too many different sizes,
Right.
especially in the States. There's like in our area, it's all square. You guys are Pentagon,
Yeah.
like inch and a quarter, I think, and then
Right.
But yeah, there's like 8 sizes, and I've heard some places too in the States you've got like
And
every
just one
hydrant.
city has.
Yeah, one city or one street. It's like this hydrant is this size,
Right.
and this one, or then the caps are different.
Right.
So it was just kind of hard to stock the different sizes, and then people would order the wrong size too. We'd always ship out a little template. It's like, okay,
Yes.
test, make sure that it's the right one. It's like, inch and a quarter or inch and a half Pentagon.
Yeah.
And then we ship it out. And it's like, no, we got the wrong one. So then you got to ship it back. And
I see.
so, yeah.
It's a bit of a hassle there, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to find that multi-tool that kind of does everything for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, there was that guy there, and then a number of people had just they bought snaggers, and they heard us, and it was really cool to see. So
a lot of people that saw the video, that's just cool. They've seen our stuff on Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
A lot of the snag are probably the main thing. So now it's trying to get more awareness of the other tools, spanners, switches, everything else. So
Yeah, there's a lot of people that took a lot of the business cards and pamphlets and wanted to look it up online and stuff. So I think there's definitely spread a ton of awareness to a lot of people.
For sure.
A lot of upper management.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Cool. Any more? I'm sure there's lots more, but
tons more. I mean,
we did run into the people that make the not the mannequins, not the creepy mannequins, the dummies, the fire dummies. What was their company?
Ruth
Lee, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we ran into Ruth Lee ladies, and we were talking to them, and I relayed the story about the lost dummy in the lake.
Yeah.
And they had already heard it. I'm assuming from the fire chief, because we do need to buy a new one. Even though we definitely know where it is. You know, that lake is not big. It's it's within a 5. We can get it within a 500-600 foot radius. We know where the dummy is. But we told them about how during our water rescue we put a life vest on it and ended up sinking on the bottom of the lake. And I also explained to her how we wrapped it. We had put a
like a black set of
coveralls on it, so it literally looks like Jason from Friday the 13th right now. So the thing floats back up. We said, we're going to have to pay a bunch of psychology bills for the kid that gets traumatized.
Yeah.
So she actually showed us the one that we should have had, which was a water-specific one, which actually floats.
Oh, nice.
And it's all kind of rubberized, so the pellets that's inside of it don't become saturated in water and sink.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
So, who knew?
And speaking of creepy, they've got the black mask to put over the face.
Yeah. So it's because the regular head on that one is bright yellow,
and
then they have this mask you put over for like when you're doing drills and testing.
Drills.
Yeah. So we talked to them. That was kind of fun. Yeah.
There was lots of stuff that went on, but I can't remember all of it.
Yeah, we were looking for the drone.
Yeah, no drones.
Nobody had it.
Oh, Queensland had a new command truck there as well.
Yeah, you're saying
F-150 Lightning.
Was that the Lightning?
Yeah, it was pretty pimped out.
Well, I want to take a picture of that massive command board.
Yeah,
it's like I'm assuming it was just to show what it would look like. I don't think that was actually a command board, but it was about 8 feet tall.
Or maybe should plywood coming out of the back of the pickup.
And your helmet tag is like
you can have big enough noise. People can actually figure out what Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta means.
That's true. You actually laid over the house.
Exactly. This is your house.
Yeah, this isn't to scale. This is life size.
Exactly. Yeah. No. They had a lot of cool command board styles there too, and lots of varieties.
Yeah.
There is a lot to take in. I know, like we continually kind of roamed around and chatted with people and looked at stuff, but man, this is endless. Unless you're looking for something specific, it's very overwhelming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah, it's good. Lots of things seen. Lots of new relationships made. So definitely worthwhile for us. We were definitely happy to come up there and support you guys as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was awesome. Thank you again.
Yeah. No, thank you guys. It was awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
So on to shoutouts. Since you're here, we're not doing the bonus shoutout.
You want to take stops, please?
Put a big X over here somewhere.
So what are you selling?
We've got some tools if you want, and we've got a great promo code. DTFF.
That's all we have to say. We got some tools.
Just some great tools. Lots of new tools. New tools coming out. So I want to thank you guys for all your support all this time. It's you guys are the shout out, not me. Shout out to you guys.
Nice. DTFF 5 is the promo code. So and snaggers, door wedges. Yeah. etc.
Yeah, gotcha.
Watch out for the X line.
The X line.
Yeah.
Yeah. And possibly the wildland line too.
That's right.
Just have that coming too.
Coming out of the Soviet era.
Not the Soviet era wildland line. What's that? Yeah. I meant the marking panel.
Oh, the patent, sure.
Yeah. Anyways,
It's not long
rails.
It's not going to be an arrow, it's a sickle.
Todd, do you want to talk about the anal beads?
No, I think that's in your will.
Todd, stop the phrase.
Stop. Stop. That's what average control. Tourniquet application, direct pressure, and wound packing in a particular order. Make sure you have a good tourniquet. Take it out of the wrapper. And yeah, we just talked a lot about carrying tourniquets on your person, in your gear, having them easily accessible, right? So stopthebleed.org or stopthebleed.ca will take you to the information. And of course, we have video content on that as well on YouTube.
Right on. What's it? Tanner Olsen? Wolf Tree Coffee.
There we go, Wolf Tree. Yeah, sipping on some coffee there already here, late at night. We were on their cold brews over the course of the weekend. That was phenomenal. Yeah, out of Oliver, BC, they've got their initial attack blend that we teamed up with them. Came out with. It's been phenomenal. Every $2 spent for every sale, $2 of it is being donated to Honor House. So that's something that they're going to continue to do moving forward. What they're actually looking at doing is getting a bit of a tracker on their website. So every time somebody buys it, the value tracker is going to go up. So
that's cool.
X amount of dollars over the course has been raised for Honor House.
Nice. What are we starting at Cold Start? Is that the next batch is going to be Cold Start? The cold brew?
Oh, I don't mind that cold start. I don't think that's what we.
That's what I thought. Maybe that's what I thought. But you said it. Cold Start.
I like that.
That's not bad.
It's not that's what we're doing well. Or
It's like a training thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What was there? There was a. What was it now?
Death from above or something. It was bombers. It was about the bombers. The airdrop. Yeah.
This coffee's so strong. Let's go.
But we don't hear the bird dog come flying over first. It could be death from above. But
Yeah.
All right. General.
Yeah, country music from Canada. We've been rocking out to Tanner for a while now. We actually had a couple people come up to us and chat about seminar, and then chat about the party afterwards.
Yeah.
And big, appreciation to having somebody like Tanner in the band come out here and play. And they're like, "How did you guys get somebody that like puts on such a great show?" And it's always cool to tell the tale of how like Scott's been connected to the family since Tanner was in diapers, basically. So, really, really cool connection. Having somebody of that caliber coming out to play with us. Huh?
It was 15 when I met him. Nothing's believe it.
Another one late bloomer. So yeah, check them out anywhere that you download music.
All right, and lastly is us. Check us out on Facebook. Basically, anywhere you're going to get your podcast. I mean, if you're already listening to us, you should probably turn it off by now. Wherever you find your podcasting, Spotify, Apple, anywhere, all those ones. We also have the Instagram, which we've been posting all week or all weekend for Chief stuff.
TikTok,
YouTube's.
Oh, and our t-shirt sales.
Yeah, so our t-shirts are still on sale.
The
Moose sold a few of those. So you can check that out. We are currently shipping to Canada and looking into international.
Yes,
very shortly. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're very, very, very close to being able to ship international. So,
and maybe an Australian kangaroo.
Don't give that away.
Hey, pre-sales, come on. Let us know.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, and good night.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Good night. Stay safe and stay DTFF.